So Alex, I'm sure you experienced this too, like the online space, the content space. If you can generate online traffic, you can make money. So my question is, what did you even start, with the X? People say get into YouTube, get into Instagram, TikTok, all this, but you chose Twitter, X, why did you choose that?
So essentially 2 years ago, I wanted to be faceless. I didn't want to show my face, and I didn't want to spend so many hours filming, editing videos. It was just a quick way to generate lots of views. So you can just make, dozens of posts in just a few seconds or a few minutes. And, even if a few of them go viral, that's all you need. So it's very easy.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, what have you been able to, what are some of the results you've been able to get from the X platform and for your clients also?
Yeah, for sure. Of course, we've generated a lot of revenue through X. So right now we're at multi-six figures per month, generating anywhere between $300,000 to $500,000 per month in revenue. Of course, that's across many accounts. So across dozens and dozens of accounts. But honestly, what I would say is more importantly than the revenue is the people that you meet, because it's so close-knit. All the high-level entrepreneurs are there. So it doesn't take too much for everyone to start noticing you and to get DMs from people, and then, getting invites to basically VIP events or to meet just high-level entrepreneurs, wherever you go.
Interesting. Yeah. So you're saying one of the biggest benefits you noticed was the people that you met, the connections, the relationships, and the places you were invited.
Yeah, totally, yeah. That's number one.
Okay. Have you been able to meet some cool business partners from that or no?
Yeah, of course. Probably more than 95% of all the connections I make from Twitter. So, for example, probably one of the first ones that I had was going to Singapore for F1. They also have some events for entrepreneurs. Basically, people from Twitter, they would hit me up and say oh, you want to link up there? And then so, we would just link up and we'd start connections and then start business opportunities from there.
Okay. Yeah, because my most experience comes from Instagram and YouTube, I've tried back in the days to grow an X account, but it's you got to constantly post. It's you got to be basically on your phone 24/7 from my understanding, because I noticed with I used to make a lot of soccer related content, and it was a day-to-day thing. Every day every 5 minutes you have to post. People have drafts saved months ago and weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you have drafts saved for probably God knows how long. So what are some of the ways that people can actually grow their accounts on X?
It's difficult. It's in different ways compared to IG and YouTube and TikTok.
Yeah.
Just because it's all about words, it's all about copy. So instead of filming yourself, you need to figure out how to do the most out of just a few words. So to make your sentences as concise, short, but also value-packed, educational, entertaining. So just, it's the art of managing words. So that's difficult. But once you master that, then it's very easy to go viral, consistently get lots of views, and you're only, spending 15 seconds just typing. And each post get 50,000 views, 100,000 views.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So what are some foundations that you follow, for most of your tweets? Is it mainly value, shit posting, a lot of value, shit posting? Because, on Twitter, I heard, you got to, post a lot of shit post content, or that's not true?
I mean, it's honestly about figuring out what the audience appreciates.
Yeah, the audience.
So my litmus test is, if me from 2 years ago were looking at it, would I appreciate it? Would I learn a lot from the post? Would I find it to be interesting? So it's really a quality game where obviously the first line where we try to get the viewer's attention is very important. That's the most important.
It's the hook of the tweet.
Yeah. So mastering that, making a bold claim, making people curious to stop scrolling, and then they continue to read. You go more into detail to go into educational stuff, and it's just a combination of being entertaining and also just educational. So that's what makes an X post valuable.
Okay. And how does the algorithm work? Is it does let's just see if people put hashtags, does it make a difference?
No, never do hashtags. Yeah. They never work. You never see hashtags on X. Yeah.
But so it's just the text itself.
Yeah.
The algorithm just pushes it if people interact with it.
Yeah, just a text, and you can also manage add an image or video as well. So, but mostly just text. Yeah.
Okay. So have you noticed the difference that just say if you add a text and compared to like a text with photo, does it perform differently, or it just depends on the context?
It's not too important, and it depends on the context. But for example, like if you want to post about like a bold claim, like it helps a lot if you show like proof, stats, or just like any sort of thing to back up what you're saying in the image. So that helps a lot. Yeah.
Okay. And when you generate traffic, I saw like you showed me like you had like tens of different accounts, right? You're running. So what are some of the niches that you're active in, like, and you're making tweets for, contents for,
Yeah. Right now, so we're in a lot. E-commerce, AI, sales, sweepstakes, just, UGC, and content creation. We're in a lot of different topics and niches for sure.
Okay. So you make basically content about those things and you sell something related to those tweets.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, our goal is just to provide as much value in the tweets themselves. And then, if people are interested, they can get more. So, for example, we might give out like a free ebook to make them more interested. And of course, at the very end, there's a call to action. Like, if you appreciate this, then we have like a full bundle of ebooks that you can buy, for example. So, just keep giving them value, and, eventually it comes back. They want more, and, they'll start asking you to basically, spend money on you, basically.
Okay. So from what you're saying, I understand that you generate traffic on X and you send them to either free products, and then you maybe send them to like a higher tier product, maybe like something they have to pay. And do you also have like one-on-one mentorships for those type of things, or it's just mainly digital products? Yeah.
So that's a good question. I always try to upsell for more, just because if you provide something that, chances are, if they really like it, they're going to want more. So for example, I might start off with like a $50 or $100 ebook, right? They go through it, but then they want more. Maybe they want some video content, they want some more templates and stuff like that. So I could give them a course that is comprised of like dozens of videos and content, and I can sell them a community as well. And if they appreciate that, they're getting great results, then they might want for us to even like do work on behalf of them. So like a service done for you. So we can charge from like $50 for ebook to like a course for a few $1,000s to a service or done for you for multi 5 figures per sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you have a lot of accounts. How do you manage to make sure everything is going smoothly? Do you have people helping you? Do you have VAs? All these type of things.
Honestly, like I just have a lot of partners. People who are very experienced with their own fields of business. And I also have students who just like become successful so they can just run their own pages, and I'm working together with them, doing like a profit split. And everyone's selling some digital products or ebooks. And so most of it is completely automated. So I'm just like, managing, seeing, kind of looking from the top, like managing people, not really doing the work directly.
Okay, I see. Interesting. So you're basically helping them grow, teaching them skill, and also taking like a profit split.
Yeah, basically it's a win-win. Like you help people to succeed, and I like take a profit split, and everyone's winning.
Yeah, that's a lot of people in different niches are doing that. I know people, they're in ecom, organic ecom, they do that. Like I was doing, ads and content, for businesses. You take a split. A lot of people that do meta ads, they do that too. So it's a very successful strategy for sure. With like, let's just say someone that has zero experience with X, like what's your blueprint, when they want to start? What do you tell them?
Honestly, you can just use AI. Like let's say that you have posts that are already going viral that you see on the homepage. You're scrolling, you see tweets that you like that are getting lots of views. Then you can just feed that into Claude AI and just like, tell it about what you want to post. And then you can generate similar style tweets, but tailored to your own topic, right? So you can really take those for inspiration. You just have to learn copywriting, honestly. Just figure out how to, you have to be the opposite of ChatGPT. ChatGPT is like super long. It's like fluffy. You know, you're like, get to the point where, you know, you want to be the opposite. You want to be as concise as possible. You know, put in a lot of value into each word. Try to make it as interesting and value packed with the fewest amount of words as possible.
Okay. And people can do this anywhere, anytime, as long as they just have access to a phone and an X account, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And from what I'm understanding is that you can basically be in any niche as long as you can just generate traffic and you can sell something, you're good. It can be any niche.
Yeah, anything that's people want to learn about anything these days, so you can literally do anything, any topic.
Yeah. It's crazy. One of the main trends that I notice with social media nowadays is that you can be interested in anything. There's like people like for anything. There's like people interested in the weirdest things that you would never expect. I'm probably sure there's people who are only focused on, like, let's just say, making cookies. They love making cookies.
Yeah.
There's people who love playing hockey. They only watch hockey content, and you can always maybe, you know, sell them on a community that people they just debate and discuss about, you know, hockey. I mean, I don't even know if this exists, but I think this is a good idea. Or like, you know, like cookies, or as you said, like, you know, AI. There's like interest for everything, you know. So if you're positioning yourself in any single platform and you just generate the traffic and you send them to a landing page, you send them to a type form or a, you know, a DM, you know, conversation, you can always, you know, make money out of it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So my question is, why did you even start in this online money business? Like, what's your story behind, like, before all of this?
To be honest, it starts during second year of college. So I went to USC, but then the problem was that I had no money. I was just broke, you know? I had always constantly less than $100, usually in the negatives, like, you know, $10 or -20, or, you know. So I just wanted a way to make money online. And plus I was desperate to make that my long-term career, because I thought that I would rather die than basically get a 9-to-5 job. And then so I was willing to die trying to, you know, spend 12 to 15 hours every day just to figure out how to make money online. So, you know, going through all YouTube videos, trying out literally everything, thinking about it 24/7 in the shower, even while sleeping. And then so I tried like probably 8 to 10 different businesses. They all failed. So I've tried like e-com, like flipping cars. I've tried so many things, but nothing really worked. I tried Etsy. I've tried selling software on LinkedIn. That actually worked out pretty well, but the one that really started popping, selling software on LinkedIn worked out pretty well, and also selling digital products on X, which is very similar. You know, X and LinkedIn are very similar.
I see. Okay.
Yep.
And then what pushed you through those like moments of, like, you know, when you were like kind of failing? Did you ever think of quitting, or you were like, no matter what happens, I'm going to keep going until something works?
Honestly, like, what is plan B? The plan B is just to die. So, like, obviously there's, like, I can't do anything. Like, there's only plan A, which is to keep going and succeed. Yeah. Because I thought that, you know, if I quit, then I'm just going to die. Yeah.
Yeah. I relate to you, because I dropped out of college too. And, you know, I tried a lot of different things. I tried like drop shipping, you know, print on demand, all those things. I got into like SMMA, but then like I failed after a while.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I started doing fitness coaching, all of those things. I got into SMMA again, podcasting, all of this. And for a long time, it was just, as you said, it's just, what else are you going to do? Besides, if you don't go, there is death, and you might have to go to like work like another regular job. Yeah. Which is the whole aspect of like you being stuck and like not free, and you can't do whatever you want to do. It kind of pissed me off. So that's why I got into like this space basically. Is that something motivated you too?
Pretty much exactly the same for me. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting because content allows, like, you know, people to meet. You said like one of the benefits that you notice from, you know, making content on X is that you got to meet a lot of people, you know, from, you know, online spaces. And the reason I even found you is because I did a podcast with Ryan, your friend.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said like, I should do a podcast with you. So it's crazy how things, you know, like, you know, happens. And, you know, like I started making content like after he connected me to another person for a different podcast. So it's like a domino effect. When you keep going, it just keeps going, you know?
Yeah, it's just momentum, you know. It's like being at the top of a hill, trying to push a massive boulder. In the beginning, it's difficult, but then just keeps getting easier, building momentum over time. Yeah.
So you said you dropped out of college, right?
Things are complicated. So I have like one more semester left. I have one more semester left, and I've been taking gap semester since I think 2 or 3 years ago. So I just need one more semester and I'm done. But my parents keep urging me, but I'm like, I don't know. I want to keep my momentum going because for business, growth is exponential. So if I stop my momentum, then if I'm going like this, then if I go to college, then I might have to I might lose momentum.
Yeah, momentum is.
I'm trying to figure out a way where I can complete without losing that, basically.
Okay. What was your parents' reaction when they found out like you don't really want to take college seriously? Because for me, I was in and out for a while, like from 18 to 20 or 21. I was in and out. I was making content, growing my team page, and one day I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I should just leave this place, and like I'm not doing anything. It's just a waste of time. I just went up to my parents like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna do this. I don't know everything, but I'm gonna figure it out, and I'm dropping out.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of backlash. They still want me to go to college. Like I'm not gonna lie. It's like they're Middle Eastern. I'm sure Asian families are like, you gotta go to college. You gotta get that degree every day. But when you make a decision as a man, you just gotta stick to it and you just gotta live by it. It's your life.
Yeah, totally. Honestly, for me, I've been fortunate to have very understanding parents.
Yeah.
So not really the typical Asian parents, but more, they have the philosophy that I know what's best for myself. So whatever I do, they trust in my judgment because, they realize that I'm thinking long-term already. So if that's the case, let me do what I want to do. So they're very understanding. They've been supportive of every decision that I've made. So I'm very lucky to be in that kind of situation for sure.
Yeah. Like one of the reasons I started this podcast, the BLEMARX podcast, is I'm very, interested to kind of show people what's possible because, there's a lot of people that they just never been exposed to a certain type of information or ways of living because they either been like in certain bubbles that they haven't really seen what's possible. They haven't met certain people. They haven't seen what's possible and the freedom that it's out there, because I feel like nowadays it's very, I don't want to throw shades at most people, but it's like kind of more like monkey see, monkey do. They just follow decisions based on the herd, and they don't really want to take time, kind of see, okay, this is maybe what I want to do, and that's why I bring people like you because like you've been kind of like outside of that box and you've been doing your thing, so you have that perspective that you can share, to people. So what would you tell like someone that's like they want to get into entrepreneurship, they want to get into online money space, but they haven't made that jump? What would you tell them?
I mean, there's nothing really I can do. Really, you want to focus on the root of why do you want to start entrepreneurship? How bad do you want it? So, like for me, I thought that I was going to die if I didn't succeed. So there was no option. It's really all about what is your dream, what is your goal at the top, and also like what is your fear. Or what is the thing that is pushing you to succeed? So there's two aspects, the part that is pulling you to succeed and the bottom part that is pushing you to succeed. So you're somewhere in the middle. So for me, for example, like, I had fear that was pushing me to success. And I had my dream that was pulling me to want to succeed. And so, the fear was that, I might die, I might not be able to take care of my future family. My boss would, basically own my entire life and decide what I can do, when I can pick up my kids, whatever. And so, I had that fear that was pushing me.
Yeah.
And then the dream that was pulling me, right? So I wanted to achieve freedom in terms of time, what I can do, when, with whom. So having that freedom. So you want to maximize those forces, really. The thing at the bottom, you want to structure it so that that's pushing you as much as possible. And then the thing at the top to pull you as much as possible. Or else, you're not, like, that's what's most important. Like the reason why you want to succeed. And if you don't work on that, like if you don't have anything that's pushing or pulling you, then no matter like what kind of motivational stuff you go into or like that, none of that's going to matter. So those reasons, the whys, are the most important to work on. And you can even like strengthen the fears. You can, for me, for example, I was adding more fears every single day. Like if I don't succeed, then, Well, of course, like inflation's getting worse, things are getting more unaffordable, so that's pushing into fear, right? So you can always structure those urgency, those whys of why you want to succeed. So I think that's most important.
Interesting. So you're saying have a vision that's pulling you and have pains and fears that are pushing you.
Yeah. Having those two forces is very important. And how much you succeed really depends on how strong those forces are.
I like the way you put that, because I think a lot of people can understand that your vision, your dreams are pulling you, your pain and fears are pushing you.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to bring it back to X, because I've never really stuck to X, and I've never really grown a lot. So with X, how do you, what are some 3 fundamentals that you always have in your mind that you want to, before you tweet? Is it just you kind of freestyle it? Because as you said, with tweets, it's very different because you have to instantly get someone's attention because it's just words. There's nobody talking, there's no visuals most of the time. So it's just your copy. So I think when you master that art of copy, it's going to take you a long time. So what's been some of the ways that you've been able to utilize that skill and actually make really good tweets?
You want to be as bold and aggressive as possible. You want to have a lot of energy in your posts. So that's why I only write posts when I have a lot of energy. If I'm tired, then I know that there's not going to be much energy that goes into my post. So having a lot of energy in the post is very important. I think that's probably the most important, honestly, because the world is attracted to energy. The more energy you have, the more you're going to succeed. And of course, vice versa. The less you have, the less you're going to succeed. So that's very important. And just consistency is number 2. Just keep doing it every day. It's like a sport. Like with swimming or basketball, you just need to keep practicing every single day. That's the only way to get better.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is really figure out, how to help the reader. How to educate them. And just make their lives better, how to help them grow with their business, or give insights, or just even entertaining stuff, how to help the viewer. So those are the 3 most important things.
Wow. Okay. So you're saying 1, they need to create when the energy is the right time. When the energy feels the right amount. Because I was talking to a friend a while ago, and I was saying that any type of content works. You can have the craziest edits, or you just sit down and talk. There's no edits. All type of content works. And I noticed even the text, even the hashtags, all those things doesn't really matter. And I was like, what makes a piece of content different? And I was like, it just goes back to the energy. The energy that you give to the viewer, to the consumer, is the energy you're gonna get back.
Yeah.
So is that a principle that you follow?
Yeah, exactly. Because people can infer and basically tell of your confidence levels based off of your words, or just based off how you're speaking, your face. So that's the fundamentals. When a baby tries to understand how their parents are thinking, their emotions, basically obviously they can't understand words, but they look at the parent's face. And if they look stressed, then the baby's gonna look stressed. So it's essentially the same with posts, with X. You just want to make sure that you're confident, you have high energy, and then the audience will start to trust you. Or else otherwise, it doesn't really work well too well.
Okay. Yeah, the trust, the energy goes a long way.
Yeah.
Because you can say the same 2 people can say the same line, but if someone has a different energy, is going to perform better. You can say, "Oh, work hard," or you can say, "Work hard." It just lands differently on the person who's watching. It's you say the same thing, you give the same information, but the energy that you put behind it, that's what actually makes it different.
Yeah, totally.
And I feel I'm sure you probably know this too. It's most of the information is not really new. It's just the way it's packaged, the energy you put behind it, the creative design behind it. That's what makes it stand out, the unique filter that it comes through, rather than the actual information itself.
Yeah, totally. And it's pretty obvious when you see posts that are made by AI that's not processed right. So of course you can write posts with AI, but you just need the right prompts. You need to, edit it so that it's not obvious. You have high energy instead of just being like monotone, like boring.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Okay. How did, like, I'm curious about this part because I asked this question to a lot of people. How has getting into entrepreneurship changed your personal life? Because I know you said you have your partner right now, and you've been able to kind of build that at the same time your relationship. So how's that affected you?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been craving for independence and freedom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I always knew that I was going to succeed and I was going to attain it. It just becomes reality. I mean, of course, like before, it's my reality in my head, but then it becomes like actual reality. But in terms of my relationship, so I have a fiance who's in Tokyo right now. So, obviously it's long distance is difficult. But one of the reasons why I started entrepreneurship in the first place online is so that, I was not restricted location-wise. So, my partner could be anywhere and I could, have the freedom to, move back and forth wherever I want. So right now, for example, I just go back to Tokyo every single month for like a week or two at a time. So, basically building this online business has really helped me to do that. There are like thousands of more examples, but, that's just probably the biggest thing for now.
Yeah, the freedom that you get to, to go to different places with your family or your loved ones.
Yeah.
Or to be able to help them. That goes a long way. How has like the journey of entrepreneurship has personally developed you as a person? Not on just the business side, but who you are on your core.
I think it's the complete, or actually no. I would say that you as an individual develops first and then the success with a business comes later. Because many people think that success changes a person, but I think it's the opposite in that you need to be proactive first. So you need to, become more disciplined, think with, just change the way you think and change your mindset, and then the results with business follows. But of course, business, a lot of the failures does, make you stronger because obviously, you're going to go through a lot of difficult things. So that does make you stronger. But I think for the most part, you just need to be proactive and strengthen your mindset. And then the results follow.
Okay. So you're saying one of the main things that it has helped you is the discipline and the mental resilience. You got to go through that first, and then as you're improving that and different parts of yourself, the success is the byproduct.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I know you've been in the space of like, X. Have you ever tried other social media platforms? Or is just
Yeah, I'm starting to experiment with Instagram and YouTube, just because I know people. YouTube is working very well right now. There are tons of YouTube videos that are printing between $30,000 to $200,000 per video, per YouTube video. So I'm gonna try to get into that. I've actually already posted, two of my YouTube videos have each generated more than $50,000 in sales. So I'm just trying to, improve that momentum, and also I'm teaching other people how to do the same. And also I know a lot of people who are making between 500K to 2 million per month with Instagram, just like organically. So, studying that, trying to do the same for myself as well.
So with X, we were talking about this a little bit earlier on. Someone gets, starts making content about a certain niche, they get some traffic. First, like, what are some ways that people actually can monetize from X?
Well, I don't recommend the AdSense because it's so bad. You can get millions of views and still only make like few $100. So, for me myself, I get only a few thousand views, and I'm making like thousands of dollars worth of sales. So, you need to be selling something, some kind of digital product or service. So like an ebook or a course or service or coaching, you need to be selling one of those. we have some pages that are doing less than 5,000 views per post, and the amount of money that we're generating is like equal to the number of views that we're getting. So, like for example, a post that gets like 5,000 views might actually make 5,000 in sales. So you want to target a very high quality audience, and in that case, with even just very little few views, you can be making a lot.
Yeah. The targeting goes a long way, so you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the most important. Like more important than the number of views, because I've worked with pages that are doing 5 million views per day on average, and they're barely making anything because the quality of their audience is just so bad. Versus I basically target high quality audience, and of course there's a method to do that. So that's very important.
Okay. So what are some ways that you make sure the quality of the audience is good?
It's just based off what you post. So if you post like brain dead stuff, you're gonna get brain dead people. But if you post like high level entrepreneurship topics, then you're gonna attract those same level of people too. So honestly, like what I do, that targets both the mass audience and also high level entrepreneurs. That's the thing that's special about my Twitter page, is that I'm able to attract a huge audience, like that's just normal US people, and also some of the most successful online entrepreneurs around the world. And the way to do that is to have a combination of high quality and low quality content. So for example, in the beginning of a post, I might have like a bold claim. I made this much money in this amount of time with, this method, right? And then that attracts everyone. The mass audience, normal everyday people, and also high level entrepreneurs. And then, as I go into the post, I would write more technical stuff, so more high level stuff, and that really gets the attention of high level entrepreneurs. And of course, the normal mass, they are also like digging into it, trying to understand it. So that's a way that you can really target a lot of people in both, the mass and high quality leads.
Okay, so sometimes the hook can be wide, so it brings most people attention, but as you're going down, it becomes more specific to kind of filter out the wrong people and keep the right people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like an upside down cone. At the very top, funneling it's like broad, but then you just keep going narrower. Yeah.
Okay. So what are some ways that people can actually monetize? Like you said you can sell things, but like what are some specific things they can sell?
Yeah. So I recommend selling ebooks, courses, coachings, and services. Those are the main four. So it's all under the category of digital products and services. Like they're all digital. You're not going to sell like physical stuff, or you can try, but it's very difficult. So what I do is that I have a software, a bot, that automatically reaches out to everyone who either likes or comments. So let's say that today I get like 1,000 comments and likes, right? And then my software will automatically send a DM to every single one of those people who commented and like something. I can send them anything. So for example, I might send like a checkout page to an ebook, right? Let's say I'm selling an AI ebook for $30 or $100, and I can send that link to all 1,000 of those people who commented and liked. So it's automated, it's instant, and even if like 1 or 2% of people buy, that's a lot. If you have 1 or 2% of 1,000 people, that's 10 to 20 people selling a $100 ebook. You can be making $1,000 or $2,000 per day. So that's how it works.
Okay, I see. So from your experience, you're running multiple accounts. Are you mainly focused on digital products in the sense of ebooks and courses, or you think it's like coaching and those things have like a more growth potential?
I try to provide as much value as possible to my audience. So really the only difference is how the information is packaged, because at the end of the day, you're just selling information. You're selling knowledge. And it's the same for everything. Even ebook or course or coaching, you're selling information.
Yeah.
And so it's just the only difference is how that's packaged. So it could be like a document, that's an ebook, or it could be through many videos, that's a course, or through coaching, right? So it's really what helps the audience the most, whatever makes sense. So I like to focus on all of them. Try to figure out how I can maximize the amount of value that I provide for my clients.
Okay. So depending on the account, depending on the audience, you pick the product/service that's going to benefit them the most.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's just say someone has no specific skills or expertise, you know,
mm-hmm.
and they get into X, they getting traffic, but they don't know what to sell. Mm-hmm. How would you go about that?
Yeah. So there are many different things that you can do. The top two that I recommend the most is, one is partnering with someone, and two is doing affiliate. So I think I can start off with affiliates. So essentially, I already have products, my own products. So for example, I already have ebooks that are built for AI, for YouTube. So you can take it for yourself. I have an ebook that has been selling for, let's say $200, for example. You can take that exact ebook and sell it for yourself. So that you don't have to create the product from scratch. You already have a proven product that is selling a lot. And you can do a lot of research and basically copy the kinds of posts that are out there already. And you can basically get lots of views doing that and then sell the exact product. So that's the affiliate route. The second route that I have is that you can partner with people who have a lot of knowledge in the industry that you want to be in. So for example, let's say that you don't have any experience and you want to start posting about AI, selling AI content, right? And then, so for example, you can partner with one of my friends who is very experienced and successful with AI. You can basically take his knowledge and post it and then sell content in that way. Because, these kinds of people, the partners, they're very experienced, successful, they have a lot of knowledge, but oftentimes they just don't have the time to post on X. So you can do that work on behalf of them. So you're posting based off of their knowledge, you're getting lots of views, and you're selling these digital products and services that way. So those are the two methods.
So partnering up and also doing affiliations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that system works really well with a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people they do sales for different people. Mm-hmm. They have different online products or coachings. There is the TikTok Shop affiliate. There's Amazon affiliate.
Yep.
So there's a lot of people making a lot of great money from the affiliates. I have a friend, he does TikTok Shop affiliate, and he teaches students to do that, especially with AI. It's crazy how you can make content and generate a lot of traffic. So
yeah,
the affiliate way is very, very doable for most people. Because if you can just generate the traffic and put a little bit of work beyond converting that traffic, I think you can definitely make a lot of money.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Where do you see your accounts going the next couple of years? Are you just thinking about growing them and just monetizing it still the same ways, or you're thinking maybe to merge them or maybe build a bigger brand? What's your vision with X?
Recently, I've been focusing on bringing more people in. So, for example, there are a lot of topics and niches that I haven't cracked yet. So, let's say, for example, what's something that I haven't done? I haven't done sports betting in a while. So let's say someone who's very experienced with sports betting wants to work with me. They have all the knowledge and experience, but they don't know how to get views on X. They don't know how to sell. So I can help them, right? Our skills are complementary. I know how to grow on X, how to sell, but they have the sports betting knowledge. So put that together, we can, monopolize that space and sell a lot of sports betting products and services on X. So just expanding horizontally into different industries, different niches, that's one thing. And even for those who don't have experience or any knowledge or experience in business, like just having, I take on students to basically, I teach them how to grow, how to get viral views and how to sell a lot. And then, obviously the more pages we have that are getting lots of views, the more sales we have, that's great. So that's my focus. And also recently I've been bringing in like ultra successful people who are doing like 8 to 9 figures with their business, for example, like e-commerce, or they're just experienced with paid ads or with trading, and I help them establish their X accounts and get lots of views and to sell a lot. So yeah, those things I've been focusing on. But now I'm trying to figure out how to get to $1 billion in revenue, combined revenue total across all accounts within the next probably 3 to 5 years. So haven't really figured that out really, but that's a path that I'm trying to go on.
Okay, I see. Where do you see like the X space moving, and let's just say the online content space in general moving with AI? Like there's a lot of tools coming out, they make content. How do you think it's going to affect the content space, and especially X? Like where do you see it going?
Honestly, it widens the disparity between normal people and those who are really skilled. It's similar to what we have with the job market. Normal people are getting cooked, but those who are at the top, they understand how things work. It's just becoming more efficient for them. So it's similar to how the top software engineers now are becoming 100 or 1,000 times more efficient with AI, but the normal person is getting cooked. And likewise, with X, you're just getting so much more content now because so much like garbage AI posts. But those who really know how the algorithm works and how to use AI properly, that's going to help make 10 to 100 times more. So for someone like me, it's actually super helpful because it's just making a lot of the work easier. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the things that are AI related that you're using for your businesses?
Lately, using it as my personal assistant. So I fed it a lot of information. Like I use Claude. So feeding it my schedule. I have like a schedule where every 15 minutes of my day is tracked. So I know exactly like what I did like exactly 4 months ago today at like 3:15 p.m. for example. So I feed it my calendar. I feed it my entire business systems and operations, any updates, just everything about me. And it finds patterns that I've never even realized. So for example, like every time I eat Chipotle, I kind of have like some brain fog and unproductivity for like a few minutes after eating. So, I've picked up on those patterns, also picked up on lots of data. So whenever I post these kinds of posts, like you're getting lots of sales, like you might not be getting lots of views, but you're getting high conversion rates and high number of sales. So keep doing that. So it's able to identify ways to improve, things that you wouldn't normally find yourself, patterns. So that's been super helpful. And also number 2 is for automation. So for example, whenever someone submits their email or SMS, it gets tracked through my entire database, CRM. And I have an automation team that's working for me, so I don't know the exact specifics, but to be able to track data, it's gotten a lot easier. And also automation in terms of, whenever I make an X post, the AI would take it, rephrase it in a LinkedIn professional tone, and then automatically upload it to LinkedIn. So, without me even realizing it's posting on LinkedIn. I'm also creating I've also created automation that helps fulfill the clients. So not just like regular chatbots, but it feels like a real person who is doing the coaching. right?
Yeah.
So, that is going to become valuable, especially as we scale to thousands or tens of thousands of clients per month or more. So automation, all that stuff, you want to use it to help you progress more with your business. So those things, I'm not too up to date with a lot of what AI can do, but so far, those have been helpful recently.
Okay, very nice. I see. So with let's just say the future of like X, as people are posting more content, trying to build their own accounts and their brands, do you think it would be beneficial for you to tailor the content in a way that's more representative of who you are as a person? Let's just say if you're building a personal X account and go that route, like keeping it as authentic, do you think that's gonna hurt the opportunities of monetizing it? Or do you think it doesn't matter? As long as you're generating the traffic and you find some sort of like a way of converting that, you should be good?
I'm not sure if I was exactly understanding your question. Could you repeat that?
Yeah. Do you think it's like people on X, let's just say, if they want to build their brand and they want to go the route of just being themselves, they want to talk about the things they like and growing it with their personality style, their interests, and those type of things that's authentic to you, right? Now I'm saying, is authenticity rewarded on X? That's my question.
Totally, yeah. Honestly, authenticity is the only thing that can set you apart from other millions of posts that are, posting the exact same content. Because, there are millions of posts that are being made every day about how to use AI tools. But, even if you post that, like, you're not special at all. If you can share your story and, your own characteristic, and you have a lot of energy and you're posting about those things, then you'll stand out. You'll stand out very easily. So honestly, that's very important. That's also very important to gain the trust of viewers, because we're seeing so many just ChatGPT generated posts. Like no one appreciates those. But if you have like a story or some emotion or like a real person behind it, like the more human it feels, the better it is. So that's absolutely essential. That's the prerequisite, or else you're not gonna find any success behind the posts.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of similar to YouTube, Instagram, like all the platforms. The people that are doing well is the authentic people, And I think nowadays the weight of the information and the value that it provides has gone down. People follow personalities. People follow the energy that you give them, the things they can relate to you. Those type of things tend to be performing better compared to just the information itself. Like the way you demonstrate the information and who you are as a person, your energy, your personality. From what I noticed, that pushes accounts way more, And it's funny because there's some people that on table, they provide less value. They are less skilled, but because they're more likable, because they, more authentic and people can relate to them, they're performing better.
Exactly.
So I think that's the direction it's going, since everything is becoming very, not necessarily saturated, because even though people are posting more content, the demand for it is also going way higher. People are on their phones 24/7. So the demand is there. It's just the people who are actually doing the best is that they're the most authentic, they're the most real ones, and they're creating from their own heart rather than just trying to see, okay, this is doing viral, I'm gonna just copy this.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly what he said, the market has been more and more favoring authenticity lately. So, like 5 years ago, you might have YouTube videos that are highly edited, but now just posts that have no edits at all, just speaking behind a screen for like 3 hours, are generating like $50,000 per video on YouTube, for example. And same with X. It's just like you want to be as authentic as possible. That's really important. So, and another thing that I've noticed is that people don't buy like the product itself. People buy the person who's behind it. So, when someone purchases from me, it's because they trust who I am, not the product. So, for them to understand who I am is very important. So whenever new people are trying to sell on X, like they try to focus on the post or the product, but you have to understand that the audience cares about the person who's behind it the most. So to communicate, your thought process, your emotions, all of that properly is often overlooked.
Okay. With, let's move a little bit away from content and X. I want to bring it back to self-development and those type of topics. And how have you been able to balance your lifestyle with your business?
I think it's very intertwined. How do I say it?
They complement each other.
Yeah. It's not like you have different sections, but yeah, as you said, complementary. So in terms of, like, for example, past 2 weeks, I was basically isolated, alone in my apartment, just like working. So I had nothing social.
Yeah.
And then I realized that was actually terrible because, even if I was working 12, 14 hours a day, just if my mental state is bad due to a lack of, social activity, then, that's going to make my energy bad and my mindset just negative. And I tend to become pessimistic. So I realized that I need to be healthy in every part of my life, so nutrition and my social life, my sleep, just everything needs to be healthy because, if something is off, something is missing, then that will reflect greatly on business as well. So everything's interconnected. And to take care of, every part of my life, my personal life has, that is the very foundation to performance. So it's more important than anything else.
I see. Do you think being balanced brought you to this point that you are right now, or being imbalanced?
I'm not really sure. I think it's more just about my desires, my goals that I have, and then whether I'm balanced or not isn't really too important as long as you have the overarching goal. So I know people who go to sleep at completely different times. Sometimes they don't sleep. They go to bed at 5 a.m., wake up at 10 a.m. They barely ever go outside, and they're printing 8 to 9 figures per year. And I know people who are super balanced, go to sleep at the exact same time every day, have a proper meal plan. They know exactly how many people they're meeting per week. Things are very balanced and they're successful. So, there are lots of successful people who on both extremes and also in between. But that's not really too important. What's most important is just your goals and how badly you want it.
I see. So basically what you're saying is that people from different lifestyles, anyone can be successful.
Yeah.
As long as you're chipping in towards your goal and you're making progress towards your goal, that's the only thing. If you want to wake up at 5 a.m. and work at, early times, that's fine. But if you want to wake up at 1 p.m., that's also cool, as long as you just get the work done. The work doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's recently I've been very agreeing with that principle way more because, people say, oh, this is the best training possible, this is the only way to get gains. Or this is the only business model that gets results, But in reality is that all business models work and it's just the only factor that needs to be, aligned with that is who you are, you. So if you can get the work done, then it doesn't really matter what you do. As long as it feels aligned to you, then you're good. Just get the work done.
Yeah. Yeah, and just having that vision over time because, ultimately, per day, per week, there is so much that you can do. You're going to accomplish very little.
Yeah.
But if you just continue to have the same goal for a long time, then even if you're barely making progress each day, you're going to go very far. So just having that goal for a long time is the most important.
Yeah. What are some of the obstacles that you've noticed with your clients, with their growth, with business?
Obstacles. for my clients. The biggest thing is understanding their goals and their urgency. Because if you don't understand your goals, then you're not going to know what you want and you're not going to know what to do. That's the very root of everything.
Yeah.
Like if you don't even understand exactly what your goal is, like not just understanding it, but understanding it very, very clearly, and to understand your goal like every waking moment of your life, of your days. And people tend to forget about their goals, and so as a result they stop being consistent. And of course that is important to achieving success, is just consistency. And if you have a very clear goal that you remember all the time, then you're going to be consistent. But vice versa, if you don't have this clear goal, then you're not going to be consistent. And that's basically what's going to make or break your success.
Okay, I see. So you're saying it's their lack of clarity with their goals, and also the urgency.
Yeah.
How much do you think the urgency plays a role from your perspective?
Quite a lot. There are people who are like, it would be nice if I could make a lot of money online, but I'm still okay with my job. It would be nice if I can travel, but oftentimes they don't see the extreme pain and sacrifice that comes with that. So if your urgency is like low like that, then you're not going to make it. But if your urgency is so high to the point where you're willing to die to achieve those goals, to sacrifice everything, and to not achieve it means death, then you're going to achieve success 100%. So urgency is very important. If you have like very high urgency, you're gonna succeed. But if you don't have any urgency, you're not gonna succeed. So it's very important for sure.
Okay.
Amazing questions. You're really good at interviewing for podcasts. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, bro. I'm just freestyling. Like I try like in a selfish way. I'm trying to like ask you questions so I learn, but I also know like with the way I position my questions in a way so like the viewers can learn too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah. Joe Rogan does the exact same thing. He just like asks questions that he personally himself is curious about. So
like every time I found myself like trying to like remember certain questions, it comes so weird. Like I like to like kind of dig deeper.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Yeah.
What are some of the impacts that you want to have on people through your businesses, through your content?
For me, my goal is all about distribution of knowledge and information. So, for example, in the 1990s, the goal was really to connect the world to internet and to connect people and businesses. But now we're entering a phase where information is becoming very important. So to basically make the exchange of information as easy as possible, easy and quick as possible. And so, for example, what I do, there's so many people who are very knowledgeable and experienced with business, but they don't know how to share that with people. So that's what I like to do, is to provide as much value to the world by providing as much information and knowledge to those who desire it. So connecting people with a lot of knowledge and information to those who are craving that same knowledge. So for example, like recently I onboarded a few 8 to 9 figure business owners in e-commerce, in AI, in trading, in exotic cars. So, they want to basically start getting views, sharing their own knowledge and information on X. And, that's going to help a lot of the people who want to learn to get that proper information. So that's my goal, to really connect people through information.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's always beneficial to give people a different perspective so they're exposed to new information, they can grow, they can try new things, because you never know what one piece of content can do to your life, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm probably sure like back in days, one piece of content got me into this content space. I'm sure same thing with you. One piece of content got you into something else. And maybe you knock on this door maybe opens, but like, you know, you don't necessarily get the most amount of success. You go to another route, you try, and something sticks and clicks for you, you know?
Yep.
Now it can be the first one or two things, it can be like the 15th thing, who knows, right? But if you kind of step into that path, things just start working in your favor over time, and suddenly you are here, now you're here, and then you're like, wow, all I did was just because I watched a single video.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very, you know, possible that, you know, someone's life can change just by one piece of content, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a good question now. Give me one thing that, you know, since you've been getting into this content space, the X, all this online digital money field, what's something that you absolutely despise, that you just can't stand?
Honestly, I don't really despise anything. I mean, I would say that there are people who spread a lot of hate. They have a lot of hate in them, and they sell, like, you know, they spread misinformation or hate. But, you know, that's something that I can't really blame them, because I know that they're going through a lot of pain in their lives.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not something for me to be judgmental about. I actually understand and empathize with those people. You know, ultimately it goes back to just like having problems in your life, pain in your life. You know, I'm a Christian, so very focused on, you know, if you have a lot of sins, then you're gonna have a very dark life, and it's gonna be a reflection of that. And, you know, that's not coming from you, but of course that's coming from the devil, right? So those people are victims to that, so I can't really judge them. You know, I feel bad for them, and I pray for those kinds of people to, of course, to find Christ, to eliminate those darkness. So it's more about just empathy and understanding for those people.
I hear you. Yeah, I think with the content, whenever you put yourself out there, one thing I personally noticed is that a lot of people, they love to attack and just throw negative energy towards whatever you're doing, right? That was this clip that I saw from Gary Vee. He was saying, you know, he just puts his ideas out there. He puts his vision out there, his work out there, and he's not there to, like, you know, force anything on anyone. He just puts it out there and lets things fall into place.
Yep.
And the people who are commenting and throwing, you know, hate and all those type of things, they're just reacting from other people doing things, right? And that's something that I've been like trying to encourage other people to do so, because I'm sure you've probably gotten your fair share of hate, or like, you know, those weird interactions from people.
Yeah.
I've gotten to, you know, for like, even like sometimes I would make content I would genuinely sit down, I was like, I haven't said anything bad. Like, you know, this is all something that can people, if they apply, genuinely, like, it's gonna help them. And it just comes down to people's level of understanding and where they are at life, as you said, you know? Because sometimes you can give them some information, but the way they receive it, it just doesn't stick, it bounces, you know? Or because it might be a little bit too complex for them, or it just, they're not in the level of consciousness they can receive it, it's going to bounce, and they're going to react to it negatively from an ego, right? They're going to say, oh, who do you think this person is, blah, blah, blah. And they're not going to really take action on it. And as a result, they're going to throw some weird, you know, make fun of you, hate on you. But in reality, like, I personally, for a fact, I've never left like a single hate comment in my life. I don't know how. There are some people, genuinely, they sit down and all they do is that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's inevitable, especially on X, where it's probably the most toxic social media.
Yeah, the most unfiltered.
The most unfiltered, for sure. So really the only thing you can do is don't take it personally.
Yeah.
and know that they have just stuff in their life that is causing them to be like that. It's nothing like about my posts. It's just there's nothing I can do except just pray that they can become better, that their life would be less dark, and really just remove them. Like if you block them, then just your page becomes healthy. You don't have to interact with those people, and there's nothing good that comes out of interacting with those people very often, most of the time. So
yeah.
Just not taking it personally, just going on with the rest of my day. A lot of people will just let that take that personally, and let that negatively affect their mind or thinking. But obviously there's no good to that. So just understand and just move on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think blocking is one of the better ways, because honestly there's no point of interacting with that. And I used to be against it. I was I'm just gonna post my things. I don't care what they say.
Yeah.
But I think it's just better to sometimes block them. So just they don't see your content, you don't see them. It's just better.
Yeah.
And let it be like that. I think most people, it's gonna take for them to kind of evolve mentally.
Yeah.
And it just is what it is. You're gonna always have, if you stand on something, there's bound to be people that are against you and they wanna say something towards you, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think there's some people that are just doing it because they're bored and they're not doing anything with their lives. So they love coming to talk about other people's lives. And this happened to me personally. I've talked about this in different occasions, but I like to bring this up because it kind of shows how people can kind of deal with those type of situations. I hosted an event for my community of Armenians, and this podcast, this brand that was built for that, to help Armenians, educate them, and that's why I'm doing this type of topics. We had an event to bring people together, we had free food, free drinks, and it was good vibes. Everyone who came to that event, they were really happy, they were pleased, and they're still to this day DMing me when's gonna be the next event. However, the outside people, they were I'm scamming people, I'm trying to create some bad reputation for our people. It was just weird. I got people making hate videos about me, that was spreading wildfire everywhere. People were sending it to me. It's have you seen this video?
Yeah.
I was I don't know, we took a loss on this event. How are we scamming people? How are we scamming people?
Yeah.
And we genuinely did it because we loved it. We did it in 7 days, no preparation. It was our first time. We made it happen, and it was a success to my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy how people are waiting for you to maybe not be necessarily perfect, to slip up a little bit and just go attack on you. It's crazy. Have you experienced something like that or no?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly used to it.
Yeah.
So honestly, probably February of 2025 last year was one of the worst. So I was getting a lot of death threats. People would find out my real, my address, all the personal details, my family members, and basically get their all contact information and just threaten, we're gonna kill you, basically blackmail, basically. So they would send these kind of threats, and it's send us money. A lot of people would just spread misinformation, I did this and that, which I didn't. But really the only thing you can do is ignore. That's the best thing to do, just to not even send a reply, just to ignore, pray about it. And if you can, just protect yourself, protect your sensitive information. And besides that, you can't really do anything. But obviously, pray about it. And also another thing is that as you become successful, it's inevitable for you to receive hate. There's no such thing as a successful person who doesn't get hate.
Yeah.
So, if you think about it from that perspective, you can be happy, if I'm getting hate, then that means that, I'm actually doing well. Because, if I wasn't getting any hate, then, that means that I'm doing something wrong. Because that means I'm not successful. So, yeah, I mean, that's how I think about it.
Seems like you're used to it. I feel you just don't really care about it. You're it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I trust in God. God takes care of me. As long as I'm following him, focused on him, and there's nothing there to worry about, really.
Yeah, I think the way I see it is that as long as my intention is positive, I wanna have a positive intention on people, and I want to deliver something of a value in my own way. I don't, even if it's not necessarily perfect or it's not done everything 100% the right way.
Yeah.
But if my intention is pure, I mean, it is what it is. And if people want to take it a certain way, that's it. But if I know I'm doing something positive, and if I know God knows, it is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
that's what, like, with my content and my work, like, my impact is my most important thing, you know, like the whole point of this podcast is just to, you know, empower people, you know, educate them and entertain them. So that's my vision with this podcast. And, you know, I think this is something beautiful, like what content has allowed us to do is that we can have a positive impact. We can utilize it to help people. We can utilize it to push people to better versions of themselves, rather than have like gossip culture, have, you know, just put negativity out there. There is people that their whole brand is built on shitting on other people, reacting to other people, talking nonsense about other people, and they have provided absolutely zero value to the market. It's crazy.
Yeah, one of the interesting things is that people who are actually successful will support you. So it's kind of like a meme where, you know, you post a story of like your wins, like you have your Lambo or whatever, and then all the likes are from like strangers, right? Or from like people who are actually successful. Meanwhile, while your, you know, high school buddies or your college buddies, or, you know, they're just like remain in the background. You know, they're not too supportive. But those who are successful know like the difficulty it takes, and they generally do want you to succeed, because, you know, they know that if you succeed, then that's good for them. You know, successful people are very positive and very collaborative. They're very supportive. So, you know, that's been really it's been great seeing that. Just a bunch of supportive people. You know, that's all that matters. It's just the people around you who are being supportive.
It's crazy, like, doing podcasts, you know, with, you know, a lot of the successful people, I've learned is that it's so much smoother to do work with them. You know, like, they're very fast with the way they respond, the way they schedule things, the way they cooperate. It's just smooth. You know, but like, every time I didn't do it, it just feels friction and like a lot of questions and a lot of like people being closed off and like, oh, I don't want to say this, I don't want to do that. It's just, it's way too like extra things that doesn't need to be done. You know, it just doesn't feel smooth. You know, but you're right. It's crazy, like how, you know, when you're doing well, you make progress in something. It's like people always watch the people that knew you for a long time. No reaction, no support, and it's crazy that people don't know you. They support you the most, which is interesting.
It's interesting.
I want to leave this podcast up with a question for you. How do I want to phrase this? If you had to be remembered for one thing after you passed away, what would it be?
I mean, ultimately, the goal is for us to reunite with God. So, you know, God is the most important. He should be the number one focus of our lives. And my mission is to please Him, to do my part, to do my work. And the way I do it, you know, the way everyone does it is different. So the way I'm going to do it is by sharing information, making the exchange of high-level information and knowledge to be easier and smoother, help people out that way. I think that is how I choose to love people, to provide value. So if I can be remembered for that, and you know, that combined with fulfilling my will for God, I think that would be great. You know, the thing is that if you love God, and if you understand how God loves you, then you can properly love other people. So that will just flow in abundance in every part of your life. So like, if you really understand that, then you can spread love to your family, your friends, to everyone. And so if I can do that, I'll be really happy.
Yeah. Well, it's a very admirable goal. You know, you want to educate people, give them valuable information to change their life. That's another way of, you know, putting positivity and goodwill out there, you know?
Yeah.
So I respect that.
Yeah.
Oh boy, Alex, it's a pleasure. You know, thanks you for coming on the BLEMARX podcast. I learned a lot. The viewers learned a lot, so it's a pleasure.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here.
Of course.
It's my first time actually doing an in-person podcast, so
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, brother.
I appreciate you guys.